In the annals of American history, there have been many moments of political intrigue. But what if I told you the most significant political coup in American history happened right under our noses just this past year, just a month ago? What would you think? A coup so subtle, but yet so powerful, it undermined the American Constitution, undermined democracy, undermined everything the Founding Fathers had built America on. The founding principle of democracy, leadership, government. I'm talking about the removal of Joe Biden, or should I say forceful removal of Joe Biden. We may never know, but what we can do is look at the facts. Let's get right into it. To understand how we got here, we gotta look at the past. We gotta analyze the past, present, and future. So let's look at the past. Joe Biden, after a long, storied career in politics, was elected as the 46th President of the United States of America in November 2020. A victory that was celebrated across millions. He was the most voted for president in American history with 81 million votes. There was whispers that Biden, at 78 years old, was not going to be able to take control of this country. Biden's early days in office were marked with a series of executive orders, some controversial, but most are widely liked and respected. But behind the scenes, a different narrative was taking shape, almost like the people at the top, the Nancy Pelosi, the Obamas, some couple of billionaires, were planning for a 2024 election all the way back in 2020. It looks like they were grooming, as one can say, the next presidential candidate 4 years in advance. And then comes Kamala Harris. Boom, in the action, spotlight. The first black and South American vice president in history. A cultural change, significance, a DEI mascot. She was, without a doubt, a groundbreaking figure in American politics just off the mere facts of her skin color and her ethnicity. Harris was initially seen as a vice president. What vice presidents do. They are loyal partners to the presidency and to America. As time goes on, you can see her role beginning to change. You can see how the executive leaders are grooming her for a potential 2024 presidential race. By mid-2021, Harris was increasingly taking on responsibilities that traditionally belonged to the president, from foreign policy discussions to key domestic initiatives. Harris was everywhere. The media began focusing in on her more. They began elevating her presence. But this never was the case for Harris. She was the most disliked person in politics. Not just a couple of years ago. People never liked her. She was a California Attorney General, and she put innocent kids and men in jail for marijuana violations in California. Why all of a sudden the 180? What happened? Why is the media all of a sudden starting to love her now when they never loved her in the past? Questions arise. But it wasn't just Harris's rise that was notable. It was also Biden's decline that was more notable. Key Democratic figures, including Speaker Nancy Pelosi, began to subtly undermine Biden's authority. There were calls for him to be more transparent about his health, talk about his health more, tell the truth, tell the American people how you are really feeling, Biden. That's what Nancy Pelosi was trying to get Biden to do, but why? Was it all in good faith? Was it all, America should know how you're feeling, Biden? Was there something more sinister at play? Does Nancy Pelosi want Biden to tell his health so the American people can kick Biden out themselves so she doesn't have to? We may never know. And behind closed doors, discussions about the 25th Amendment were allegedly taking place. As months went by, Biden's public appearances became fewer and more controlled. The media started to speculate, and soon the narrative was set. It was gonna be a Kamala Harris takeover. It has been nothing short of that. And then the media frenzy began. Harris was suddenly everywhere. The Washington Post. Everyone was just loving Kamala Harris. Everyone. And it was all suddenly timed right before Biden drops out. She was on the front pages and exclusive interviews and being praised by pundits from across the political spectrum. It was as if the media decided Harris was the future and Biden was the past, without going through the proper Democratic channels to elect her to be the Democratic nominee. It's almost like they just undermine our constitutional rights. They just undermine democracy as a whole. The shift was so subtle yet so powerful that it left many Americans wondering what was really happening behind the scenes. What is happening? Was this a natural transition of power, or was this something more orchestrated at play? So was this the biggest coup in American history? Some would argue that it was a masterclass in political maneuvering, a peaceful transfer of power without the need for elections or impeachment. Others might see it as a necessary evolution, given Biden's age and Harris's potential. But one thing is certain, the way that Kamala Harris was introduced to the American public as a new face of leadership, while Biden was slowly but surely phased out, was unprecedented. In the end, the true story may never fully come to light, but the events we witnessed over the past few years have set a new precedent for how power is wielded in Washington. And whether you see it as a coup or simply the way things are, it has undeniably changed the course of history. Man, we may never know if this was actually a coup orchestrated by the top players of the government, top players of Washington, D.C., Nancy Pelosi, the Obama family, some couple of billionaires. We may never know. But one thing we do know is to go out and do your due diligence and vote for whoever you want to vote for. But that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good day. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.